This is WBSM On Demand.
It's time for South Coast Now with Chris McCarthy. Streaming live on WBSM.com and the WBSM app. Call 508-996-0500. Text us using App Chat on the WBSM app. Now, Chris McCarthy.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day out there. Hopefully you'll have an opportunity to get outside and enjoy it. I'm Chris McCarthy, and again, as I said, it's a beautiful day. So I know that we talk a lot of politics here, mostly local stuff, but I am intrigued, and I know many of you are, with these various wildlife stories that we've had here at WBSM.com, and they are picking up across the nation, particularly the one of the bear dragging the person out of the car after getting in a car accident. And the story that I think I 100% believe it, the trail cams picking up a mountain lion, a cougar, in a Acushnet. So I'm curious if you've had any experience like that. If you are concerned about it. I mean, we talk a lot here when we have Terry Cripps in, the animal control officer from Fairhaven, about leaving food around your house because it will attract wild animals. And mostly, we're talking about coyotes, fisher cats, raccoons, things like that. But we do know we've had, I think it was a couple of bears. I don't think it was just one bear last year. I think it was a couple roaming around. You know, remember that? Remember when the bear was way up in the north end of New Bedford? Running around in traffic, which is, you know, scary both for the drivers and obviously for the bear. You don't want to. I know that there was another bear around here a couple of years ago now on 195. It ultimately got hit by a car on 195. And, you know, that's sad. That is. Both for the person that hit it, because it can obviously cause a lot of damage. But for the bear, I mean, I think they're marvelous. I think they're pretty wild. Now, the cougars. Mountain lions. I have heard from well-informed people who spend a lot of time in the woods, people who have trail cams out there, primarily looking for deer, but there's all kinds of things out there, that they have seen mountain lions. I'm talking like in the greater New Bedford area, going back a couple of years. So I find it fascinating. 508-996-0500. Will it change the things you do? Will you be on alert more? I mean, I have seen videos of mountain lions in southern New Hampshire, crawling around the suburbs, the exurbs, right? Exurbs, whatever they call them. And it's very clear that the mountain lion is right at home and enjoying itself, you know. Now, that people sometimes get bobcats and mountain lions confused. I mean, if you see it quickly, there can be confusion, I would imagine. But a mountain lion has a long tail, a bobcat has a bob tail, right? A short tail. So it is a story you can read more about at WBSM.com. Now, the bear pulling the person out of the car, that is a crazy story. So sometimes on the overnights, I listen to, when I'm home sleeping, I listen to New York stations. There's a couple of stations in New York that literally have original programming. So I picked up. I mean, I go. That goes back to being a kid at Wilbur's Point when you could hear the radio coming over the ocean. So I heard the New York stations reporting the bear story. That is a terrifying story, right? You think about it. You get in a car accident, that really sucks, right? Getting in a car accident is miserable. But then to have a bear come and drag you out of the car? And I'm not making a joke here. You wonder if the people had McDonald's or something like that in their car, Burger King, whatever, fast food, you know? Stuff that's fragrant. Because you get in a car accident, that generally, I would think, would scare wild animals away. The sound of it. The smell of the tires, right? And you don't start to smell until you've been dead for a while. Now, I guess it could be the smell of blood. Bears do have quite a nose. But I wonder if it was, did they have other food in the car, right? And that's what attracted the bear, and then the bear just went for what he found. Because we're always told the bears around here don't eat people. Those are grizzlies. We don't have grizzly bears around here. So we've got bears to look for. We've known about the bears for a couple of years. But this is an additional increased aggressive behavior. (508-996-0500). The mountain lions, cougars, if you will, those, again, I mean, I've heard stories about those for the last couple of years from people I know that hunt and have trail cams. They don't hunt mountain lions. They have the cameras for deer. But the camera picks up everything out there. So it doesn't surprise me. In the area of Acushnet, where we're reporting this mountain lion was seen, cougar, whatever, is a very rural area. And we do have a lot of food around here. We have a ton of deer. And since they abolished leg traps, there's other smaller critters around. And I just happen to not think as many people are hunting as used to hunt, right? So you've got an incredible amount of deer out there. So if there's a food source like deer, that's going to bring larger predators to the area. And I think unless you startle a mountain lion, you're probably all right. But I have seen some videos, I'm sure you've seen them as well, of joggers, like out in California, in the mountains, being pursued aggressively by mountain lions. It's pretty scary, really. Now, I don't walk in the woods the way I used to, but I know many of you do. And again, I think that in most cases, a bear or a mountain lion wants to avoid a human being. But if they're hungry and you're out there in their area and you're not paying attention, because they're always paying attention, they can't go to the supermarket, right, and pick up steaks like we can. They can't go and just, get scallops at the restaurant. They got to eat, and it's a constant game of survival for them. So, 508-996-0. Got a couple of people on hold. If you want to join the conversation, you can. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad. I had a guy that I know, wasn't a close friend, but he was a pro mountain biker, and he was killed about 5 years ago in California. He was just doing a fire road trail over some foothills into the mountains, and got attacked and killed. And kind of was a shocker to all the mountain bikers because, everyone makes a lot of noise mountain biking, and but he did get attacked. And there have definitely been. I have a friend also that hikes. She's a marathon hiker, one of those people that goes 50 miles at a whack kind of thing. And she has to keep her eye out too, because they'll walk right up to you, kind of like docile, but then they can attack. They're talking about the mountain lions.
Yes.
I personally think, and I'm certainly an advocate for nature, is that, we're in a fairly developed area, and bears generally aren't going to attack unless they're in the mating season, or if they're like young males, or if they're with their cubs. That's like see a cub run.
Yes, the mother's around somewhere.
Yeah, don't read the manual at that point. Just run. So the bears aren't so bad, but mountain lions are an issue. They really should anesthetize them and move them if they find them, because there's nothing good running into a mountain lion. I mean, you know what it's like with an angry cat. Just make it, if it's 100 times bigger, you can imagine, right?
I saw the video, and I'm sure you have too, there's been a couple of them, but of a woman, she was on a mountain trail out, I believe it was California, could have been Arizona, but anyway, and there was a huge mountain lion, and it was kept lunging at her, and she was backing up, and she was really in good shape, obviously, and I guess knew on instinct what to do. But you watch that video, and it's scary just to watch the thing.
Yeah, I saw a video where a person was on a mountain bike, and a couple of people actually, and they spotted a mountain lion walking up towards them. I don't know why they stopped, but then they started rolling away from it, and the mountain lion kept walking towards them and at a brisker pace kind of thing. And it's like they're not afraid of anything. And one thing on the bears, and I'll leave you with this, is I think what they should do with the bears is they should tag the bears, so they have the geo collars.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. I think that people can track the bears at that point from an app, and then that creates a safety factor and lets the bears continue to migrate around, because they tag all sorts of things. They tag pigeons and eagles, and there's no reason they can't tag electronically tag the bears, and that way people can move around, and people can feel that they can see where they're at and not run into them.
No, I like that idea, because again, I think that bears primarily try to stay away from people unless they can.
No, they do, but you're going to run into the far liberal crowd that is going to be like, no, I want to hang out with a bear. I want to be friends with a bear. Let's bring the rattlesnakes back. I mean, there's some crazy people out there.
No,
they should just go to a
people.
Palestinian rally and forget about that stuff.
That's what they do on their Sundays. Thanks for the call, my friend. Actually, there are or have been rattlesnakes seen in Freetown at Profile Rock. I remember years ago, my parents got Boston Magazine, and it had an edition on rattlesnakes in Massachusetts. And they had a map and all that stuff. It was pretty good magazine. And I was stunned that they mark, obviously the Blue Hills, that is known to have some rattlesnakes. I think the Quabbin Reservoir. But Profile Rock. And I think it's because they can go deep into the rocks for the winter. They come out and they sun themselves like a day like today. So rattlesnakes, and I know they were stalking, I think would be the right word, rattlesnakes in certain parts of western Massachusetts. The Massachusetts state government, the wildlife, was putting them out there. Again, I happen to think that all of this wildlife tells us that we're doing something right with the environment. When you have bears and fishers and wild turkeys, it means the environment is sound for them. And that's taken years. I imagine, unless you're really old, you remember when there was nothing like that around here. If you're really old, you remember maybe a time before industrial pesticides and things like that. But most of the people in my audience are not that old. So if you're like my age or a few years older or a few years younger, 50s, or 40s or 60s, you remember when there was very little around here. Even though we weren't as developed as we are, there was very little. And that had to do with environmental concerns. 508-996-0500. We're going to take a quick break. I see you on hold, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. I'm Chris McCarthy. Boy, it's a beautiful day out there. It just gets better and better every day. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Oh, good morning, Chris.
What's happening?
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know it was me. You know what's happening? Your topics are great of late, but I have to tell you, for you to get away from the politics and do this topic you're doing now,
yes.
I have to tell you, Chris, I don't know how many of your listeners know this, and I am trying to share it to you over the phone, but I don't have your email. What is your email?
So, do you go on Facebook?
No, I got off that.
All right.
I was bullied too much on that.
You were what, bullied?
Yeah, and that was before my husband died, and his death was 3 years ago on March 25th.
Oh,
so there's no need for me to.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Just that's the easiest way for me to communicate with people.
I know. You do talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
The face, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway, what do you want to tell me?
Okay, so talking about animals and stuff, they have literally successfully took the mammoth, the woolly mammoth, and have produced that gene. And it is literally a living, thriving animal right now. They put it with the regular elephant. And so I was asking myself, and they also did the pterodactyl bird. which nobody might not believe, but we still got that ancestry type of bird. It's got that big bill. I think it lives in Australia. It's horrible, and it will kill you. It's like all head and skinny little body. I wish I could think of the name. I was trying to do that research before, I got on the air with you. But here's the thing. They managed to do this. And the woolly mammoth, and I'm thinking, why are you resurrecting? Why are you doing this? Because God or Earth or whatever, whoever, science, the world was destroyed because those animals were eating the earth up with the greenage, plant, you know what I mean?
Right.
And let alone each other. So I'm sure that's why the world got destroyed. Anyways, thanks for that asteroid that hit, and doomsday for them all. Because right now, what they're doing is, why would you even want to do this, right, Chris? Because I'll tell you, how are we going to feed them? We don't got enough trees with all the forest fires we have in this world as it is, and yet we're all going against plastic.
What do you feed a woolly mammoth?
Well, exactly. They eat a lot of grass, a lot of leaves. They need their nutrition. I know.
They don't eat people, though, do they?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
No. But here's the thing. Why resurrect something that needs so much earthly greens? There's so many fires everywhere. And this recall on plastics, and we're doing paper bags, we're going to run out of... Chris, I'm a little older than you. I remember when it was paper bags, and they said, no, we can't do paper bags because we don't got enough tree life. We can't reproduce fast enough. So now we went to the plastics. Now we're back.
Right. We're
From
back.
the plastic to the tree. But I'm telling you, with all these raging forest fires that I know no doubt will happen again this summer through up northern Washington, Oregon, Canada, California, Montana, and stuff like that. This is going to be a short stint for us, unless if people keep recycling everything that they do get out of paper. That's a great thing, but I don't think enough Americans. I don't think. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, what are we going to feed them? It's not. Why even bring this animal into the world?
The woolly mammoth.
Right.
What do they taste like chicken? Do they taste like buffalo?
You know what they say? Frogs, chickens taste like steak.
Yeah.
Steak tastes... No, come on.
Can we raise woolly mammoths for meat?
No, we can't. But just for the idea, I think it's ludicrous that we're spending all this scientific money on taking genetic type of cloning to introduce this animal into our world. Yes, they will take that damn thing down because it'll eat up the whole state of California in no time at all. And if you let it breed. No. So why even do this? Because you're going to have to put that thing down. You couldn't give it enough food every day. It is ridiculous. And why are they doing that? I mean, to me, it's like, what's all the money? What about MS? Why aren't we spending all this money on that?
Well, believe me, I have some things on my list I'd like them to spend more money on.
So
but a woolly mammoth would be kind of fun, right?
I don't know. Chris, you must love, I don't know, maybe there's like a Netflix series that will be like surviving the chase of a mammoth.
Yeah, surviving Mammoth Island.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, too, speaking of island. They put a lot of rattlesnakes up out in Dare Island, outside of New York, outside of us. We kind of share New York and Block Island and all that. But they put a bunch of rattlesnakes because they said there was a shortage. So I'm like, I don't care. There's a lot of animals encroaching on our land because we're encroaching on theirs. And
yes.
They are going to follow the food source. If they can't find it, a sensibility of an animal will be, well, I want to keep going where it's warm. They're not going to head up north from basically where they're leaving out of. No. So I just find it really funny and sad. That bear, the one thing nobody reported was, the bear dragged the body out of the core. He could have been half dead, they said. or, half laying out. And the bear just took it and realized, oh, I don't like human blood. I don't like this. Otherwise, when they were on scene, they said they saw the bear in the distance. They would have killed him right away.
What about the saber-toothed tiger? Are they going to bring that back?
You know what? If they can bring the woolly mammoth back with those huge tusks, why not? But I swear to God, if y'all think I'm joking, just go Google it. They've done it genetically. I am not lying. They've done it.
Where are they keeping it? Do you know?
No. Of course none of us would know, because all the animal advocates would probably go there and bonfire. You know how this world is in the United States. We go and protest in the biggest and baddest way.
Listen, I am going to look into this woolly mammoth escapade, but I want the saber-toothed tiger. I mean, all I knew about the saber-tooth is that, I knew it as a kid, cartoons, and then I think it made an appearance once in a while on Fred Flintstone.
Well, I know, right? And he took Fred out the window or something like that. The bowl of milk. Yeah, I remember that. Wow. But no, seriously, everybody thinks they see a mountain lion. My friend, he's a hunter, and he said, this was 2 years ago, a few years back. He said, literally leaving the state of New Hampshire, he saw one. And so he was telling me the other day, I believe anybody that in a Acushnet that has the eyewitnessing event. And he said, if the film footage really shows that, then that's phenomenal. But he said he did see this. He did see one. And he said, I don't see why not. Why couldn't it happen? The bears, we're encroaching on this land so much. The animals are coming more and more in our space because we've already took their space up. But I am not kidding when I'm telling you about the genetic studies that they've done it. They've cloned the woolly mammoth, and it is existing. It's real. This is real.
They keep it in Area 51, or are they letting it?
Yeah, right? That's probably where they got to keep it, because Area 51, what a great mystery, huh? Or maybe the Lost Island.
The Lost Island. Thanks for the call, Seti, as always. I appreciate it. We are talking about the wild animals that are being seen in the area. There's a bear. You can read more about it at WBSM.com. There's a cougar, or a mountain lion, seen in Acushnet. Now, again, it doesn't really surprise me, because I've talked to people that have seen them as well, not in Acushnet, but in the greater New Bedford area. The area of Acushnet where this was seen is rural. (508-996-0500). Again, I'm not really worried about it. In fact, I'm kind of interested. I'm a little bit excited about it. Again, I don't go out in the woods the way I used to. So the chances of me having an encounter are very remote. But I can remember as a kid going to New Hampshire with my family. And, they various tourist stops along the way. They'd tell you, these are the animals that are here, the pictures and stuff. And they would say, well, they'd mention mountain lions, but they'd say, there haven't been any seen in years, things like that. Then I watched a video on Channel 4 a couple of years ago, because it was before I got sick, of a mountain lion prowling around in southern New Hampshire in someone's backyard. But this story of the bear pulling an injured person out of a vehicle, a car accident, that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Anyway, stick around. We'll be right back.
Give me a sign, and just for breathing even closer behind. In touch with the ground, I'm on the
Welcome back to the program. I'm Chris McCarthy. That's Duran Duran, Hungry Like a Wolf. I don't think we have wolves yet around here. I know there are some wolf sanctuaries, and there's some discussion that the coyotes that are around here are a cross between coyotes and wolves. So, I know other parts of the country, they have wolves. And again, we have I wouldn't call it pristine, but certainly a recovering environment from our industrial era. And we've banned, for instance, leg traps. You can't do that anymore. I don't necessarily think that was the kind of policy you should pass by referendum, because there are a lot of nuances to that. It's a very cruel way to if I just hung up on you, call back. I'm sorry. It was unintentional. So if again, I think that the leg traps are cruel. There is no doubt about it. Hunting, there's some element of cruelty anytime you kill an animal. How you do it can be more efficient, less painful. But those leg traps were very effective at keeping wildlife populations in check. Again, there were people who used them wrong, set them, didn't check them. You know, they put them in areas that, again, people were traveling, domesticated animals like dogs, cats. So you understand why there's a popular outrage against them. But they were very effective. 508-996-0500. When you look at the kind of wildlife, for instance, orioles. I've seen a couple of orioles, the big orange bird. Well, not that big, really, but orange birds. They're brilliant. The colors are brilliant. I've seen them a couple times in Fairhaven. I think we're maybe in the season or about to get out of the season for orioles here. But I can remember as a kid, and my dad was a amateur ornithologist, bird watcher. He put out dozens of bird feeders at the various properties he controlled, and, put out specific food to bring in certain types of birds. But, we look at orioles in the bird books, but, they were not even a reasonable thing to consider. And a couple of years ago, I saw the first one I've ever seen down at Sconneck. And since then, I see on the internet people take pictures and things like that. I've seen more. In fact, I was talking with one of my neighbors in the Cushman Park area, and I was telling her, I said, look, it is possible to bring orioles to your house, and that you really, she's kind of into birds too. So if you see, it's really a brilliant piece of nature. The colors are amazing. Anyway, the baseball team's not that good, but 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, good morning, Chris.
What's happening?
Not too much. Hey, I got some hail out of my house last night.
We got it in Fairhaven, too, yeah.
You get it like about a half-inch diameter?
I have to tell you, I was inside listening to bang on the porch. I got a couple of videos from people around the area who were out, but it was big, yeah.
Yeah, I got a roof over my porch, like a right angle.
Yep.
So where the two sides meet, it pitches up maybe about 35 or so degrees. So it creates a natural slope towards the gutters and stuff. So if it came down and poured over the gutters, and I had a pile about 1.5 foot deep.
Really?
Yeah, underneath that corner, and all over the stairs too. It's still there right now. It's smaller, but it's still there.
That's wild, Nick. I mean, I thought the weather last night was amazing. It really was.
It was something else. I don't remember seeing hail that big around here.
No, I never have either, really. I don't remember it anyway.
I think there was one night back in the 90s, early 90s maybe, where the sky was, in the West End, it was purple. And there was like all kinds of like protrusions coming down from this cloud ceiling and stuff like that. I was waiting for a tornado, but nothing happened.
A tornado would not be. I can remember, now this goes back to the 70s, when we got a tornado warning out in Freetown. And because my parents told us, we all went in the basement, you know, and it was wild. I mean, we stayed down there for a couple hours. I don't remember if one ever touched down, but that was in the 70s. I remember it. I mean, I can vividly remember doing it.
I'll tell you, I was living up in Worcester for a little while, probably late 90s, I think. Early, somewhere between 2000 and 2010. And I was over to Monson, Massachusetts, looking at a dog. And across from where the kennel was, there was a little hill. That's all hills up there. And there was a path about maybe, I'll say about 1/8 of a mile wide, coming down from the top of the hill and going down into the valley. And it was just flattened, leveled. And the lady told me, she said that was a tornado that did that.
Really? Do you remember a couple of years ago now, when it was like, I don't know, maybe midnight, 11 o'clock, everybody's phone, at least in my house, the phones in my house started exploding with a warning. The television started warning that there was a tornado coming across Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. That was wild.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you never know.
You never know.
So you're talking about the cats there, right?
Mountain lions.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of... You figure this out, and you're bringing it to everybody's attention. There's all kinds of food out there for these things.
Yep.
There's for anything. There's deer, there's rabbits, there's squirrels, there's turkeys, there's all kinds of stuff, and geese and ducks. And there was almost no natural inhibitive to the population growth of these things.
Right. There's no problem.
I mean, the Buttonwood Park is nothing but a big nasty YMCA swimming pool for geese.
You're right about that. You are right about that. Hey, thanks for the call, my friend. Folks, we're going to if you're on hold, stay there. I am very interested to hear what you have to say. We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
We've gone too far this time.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Chris McCarthy. Let's go right back to the phones. Bunch of people on hold. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I got you. It's my second call. I called a couple of weeks ago about Capitol Theater, about the dimensions. Now you're doing about wild animals, right? I got something that's going to blow you out of the water, okay?
All right.
You know the old cowboy movies when a dead cowboy is in the desert and what's flying over him?
Buzzards.
Okay. I got a picture of 2 buzzards on Carter Street eating a dead squirrel.
Oof. From when?
Have I seen a buzzard in New Bedford?
No, I haven't. When was this?
A couple months ago.
Okay, so it's
couldn't
recent.
Believe it. We'll drop off. A couple of months ago, we'll drop off a picture. These are buzzards. You look at them, it's like a duck, walks like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck.
Yes,
right?
It's a buzzard.
Buzzards in New Bedford. Oh, yeah. I got pictures. We could have it drop you off.
That'd be great.
A couple of coffees. Now, coyotes, there's a protective thing, I think. You can't hunt coyotes or trap them. But if one was in my yard, which there were a couple, looking at me, here comes the shotgun. They're gone.
Depending on how close your neighbors are.
Wild turkeys are all over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, last Thanksgiving, right? This is Thanksgiving, swear to God. Thanksgiving, right? What do we eat on Thanksgiving? Turkey, right?
Right.
In my backyard, there's 12 turkeys running around. And,
They're